Riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Hour 2, we're back on YouTube. And if you were watching before and you're joining back on with us, we had like 12 people that were watching on the YouTube. We don't know. I don't know. YouTube hates us. That's the best way to put it. YouTube hates us. They want to make Sean's life harder than it needs to be, and that's not fair to Sean. So YouTube, if you're hearing us, stop hating Sean. Let Sean live. Dang nabbit. Anyways,
gosh darn it. It's like Jeffro.
It's just like we're okay. I want to mention that. Okay, first of all, if you're on the YouTube comments, or if you're listening, I would encourage you to come over to YouTube and watch. I like interacting with you guys in the comments there, and I think it's I know for me personally, when I'm doing anything, whether I'm watching any of the shows here at Onside, if I watch like one of my favorite shows is the Pat McAfee show, I like to watch it in video. I like to see it, even if like I know a lot of us like the camera is an interesting issue like spot, and we're not like looking at the camera. It's not like it's a YouTube video or something, but I know it's entertaining to watch and kind of see how everything goes on, especially during interviews and everything. So I encourage you to come watch on YouTube and chat with me in the comments, and really anybody at all that has any show here. But I dropped down again for anyone that might have missed it, the mock draft that I'm going to talk about here, so you can see it if you want to see it with your own eyes. And not just have to hear it. You can have me up and go through it as I go through it as well. But we were talking about the commercials because I was saying that some of them I don't like, because some of them are interesting. My girlfriend doesn't like one of them as well, talking about like kind of the sea stuff, just because she thinks it's a little like eerie. But that's the one that I always, every single time it comes on, it's like the Jeffro one at the Telegraph while riding a horse. It's just, it's hilarious.
I think it takes skill, man, to be on a telegraph machine and riding a horse.
It's one of just the most random.
Jeffro was ahead of his time.
Shout out to Jeffro, but Jeffro, don't text and drive, or don't telegraph and ride. That's the more appropriate one to say there. But anyways, we're going to talk about the mock draft here from CBS Sports. It was released yesterday. It is a 2-round mock draft, and I found one mock draft that it wasn't really realistic. I was trying to look for some others. I saw one from my guys at PFN. But it was using the mock draft simulator, and though I think that they have and it's not just that I worked at PFN. I just think, truthfully, they have the best mock draft simulator that is around right now. I think it operates the best. I don't like PFFs at all. I like the Draft Network, but I like PFNs more. And I think it runs really well. It's pretty realistic, I think. There's chances where it's not because it is a simulator. It runs off of, being a simulator. It's online, and some things can be realistic. But at the same time, sometimes the NFL isn't as realistic as we think it could be. So it is what it is. But I found one that is a mock draft written out by Josh Edwards, a part of CBS. It is a 1-minute read, it says, so if you want to just read through it, you can do that. I'm going to go through it pick by pick, and I'm going to start at pick number 3 because the first 2 picks, for anyone listening and not looking at it or watching and not looking at it, the first 2 picks went Trevor and Zach Wilson. Obvious. Like, that's going to be the obvious situation right now. After that, it goes Mac Jones, which everyone thinks is really what's going to be what happens. The 49ers straight up said they get Mac Jones. I don't understand why. I got to be honest. I still don't think Mac Jones is great, and I don't think I will understand why until I see it on the field with the 49ers.
Well, it makes sense, right, with the Kyle Shanahan face after the throw.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, him and Bill both like, I don't know if this is worth it. Sitting there kind of like, did we really make that trade with the Dolphins? Because now it doesn't seem that great. But they trade for they get Mac Jones. Essentially, they trade up to pick Mac Jones. So they trade for Mac Jones. We could say it that way. And they go up and get him. And then the Broncos go ahead and they trade up with the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta receives pick number 9 and number 40 in this mock draft. Denver receives number 4. And it goes with the theme that everyone's been saying that 4 quarterbacks will be taken in the top 4 no matter what happens. This 4th quarterback that John Elway and the Denver Broncos select is Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. Very, very interesting that that's what happens. And then at number 5, where everyone thinks the draft is truly going to start now. Before, it seemed like the draft would start at 3 because the Dolphins had 3, and it didn't look like they were trading down yet. They'd go ahead and do that last Friday. After we were off air, by the way. Jesus. Come on. Come on, Chris. Come on, Brian. Steven.
Well, I sent them over our schedule now, so they know to do it during our show.
Yeah.
We're good now.
At least they know. Yeah. Good job.
I faxed over as soon as it happened.
Send over to Jason Jenkins and let him know. Hey, by the way.
I did. He replied. We're good.
All right, cool. Nice. Awesome. So the draft starts at 5 now, essentially, and Jamar Chase gets picked by the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that's something that should happen. Look, the Bengals desperately need an offensive line. And Penei Sewell is like a perfect selection for them there. But you're going to pass up on the guy that had an insane connection with your number 1 overall pick in Joe Burrow to get an offensive lineman. I understand that they need an offensive line, and they need one bad, like I said. Badly, so desperately do they need an offensive line. But they should go out and get Jamar Chase. Link up the duo that was lighting up college football together at LSU. Back up with the Bengals. I don't care that you got T. Higgins. I don't care who else is on the roster. That is a dominant force. You should link up Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow. I think that makes the most sense. From there, they have the Miami Dolphins, who traded up with the Philadelphia Eagles, picking Kyle Pitts and saying Kyle Pitts is unlike anything that Miami has on its roster. Do not get hung up on whether or not he is a tight end or wide receiver. He is simply a mismatch nightmare for Tua Tagovailoa to exploit. Completely agree. Pick number 7, Jalen Waddle goes to Detroit. I think that's a great selection for Detroit, although at the same time, I think they should try to get a guy like a Penei Sewell. Though it doesn't happen. Then Trey Lance falls to the Carolina Panthers at pick number 8. He gets picked over by Carolina, so they get their quarterback to sit behind Teddy Bridgewater, I guess, or maybe, I don't know, go out there and start him when it comes on to the season. Who knows what they would do. Seems like Matt Rule and them have an idea of what they really want, though, in a quarterback. So we'll see what that happens. Then Penei Sewell finally goes at 9 to the Falcons. Devonta Smith falls all the way to 12 to the Eagles. Let's see, anything else interesting? Micah Parsons Goes number 15 overall to the New England Patriots. That's watching the world burn. That is saying that I am, what's his name again? That's saying I am Josh Edwards and I want to watch the world burn. I'm going to throw a guy like Micah Parsons. He does have off the field issues, but talent wise, he is a top 5 talent. So I'm going to throw a guy like Micah Parsons in there with Bill Belichick. Going to be fantastic. Great off-ball linebacker. This is going to be great for the New England Patriots. That's wanting to watch the world burn, Josh. You want to watch the world burn. Oh, there's a couple. Oh, my God. Wait, there's a couple surprises here. So, let me make sure that I get what I'm about to say correctly. Let me look through it again. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, so the Dolphins then go and select at pick 18. They select Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, 6'1", 215. I think it's a pretty good pick, but not being Najee Harris, I was surprised. I was like, I wonder where Najee's going to go. Thus far, unless he completely forgot that Najee Harris existed, I have not seen a team select Najee Harris. And the first running back that goes off the board is not Najee. It is Javonte Williams at 23 to the New York Jets. He becomes the first running back off the board. Wow. That's a shocking one. That one okay. That shocked me a little bit. The next one is Kwity Paye out of Michigan, goes to the New Orleans Saints. I think they need a little bit more than just continuing to go D-line again, but it is what it is. Zaven Collins goes 31 to the Chiefs. Levi Onwuzurike, who I like a lot, does not slip into the second round, goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Gregory Rousseau, University of Miami product, goes up to Buffalo. Jalen Phillips, also University of Miami product, goes over to the Las Vegas Raiders. And then one that I love, that I know that Michael Christian is like, man, I'm going to lose out on my $10, is that Kadarius Toney goes pick 29 to the Green Bay Packers. It is the greatest and most ideal fit that you could possibly have for Kadarius Toney. And I guarantee you that it's not going to happen because it's the Green Bay Packers. And they love more than anything to not give Aaron Rodgers any help. Troy asking, what happened at 18 in this one? In 18 on this draft, Jeremiah Owusu Karamoa, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, was picked by the Miami Dolphins. Najee Harris not selected in the first round in this mock draft. Instead, it's Javonte Williams. I was liking this mock because I was like, a lot of these picks seem realistic. Now, I feel like this has got to be an April Fool's joke because I don't think there's any way that he has Najee Harris falling to 35 to the Falcons. I could not see that happening. And then the Dolphins at pick 36 pick Travis Etienne. I think that's a very good pick no matter what. Then they pick Landon Dickerson at 50. I don't think that that's going to happen. Landon Dickerson has a lot of injury issues. I would be surprised if that does happen. And he did not have anyone. He had Quinn Myers going at 57 to the Rams. It is what it is, you know. I like this mock draft, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of very unrealistic things that happen in it. I don't think that Najee falls out of the first round. I would be shocked. And I don't think that you have a guy like Landon Dickerson getting picked before a Quinn Miners, in that situation. I just... we already covered that, Sean. I answered that. Don't worry, it's good. We got it. I'm kidding. But yeah, that's the mock draft. It's it's an interesting one. And again, I say unrealistic, but at the same time, the NFL is unrealistic. Anything can happen at any given moment because it is the NFL. It's the world and the game that we love. And hey, that's what it is. Anyways, coming up next, we're going to talk with one of the trio there of Lemon City Live. And Achilles, you can follow him on Twitter at AchillesXC2. He'll come on and we'll talk about the Miami Heat. We'll talk about the Miami Dolphins. And just throwing in some other stuff as well. He will be coming on next. And okay, so again, as I was saying before, YouTube decided to cut us off and say that we were horrible people, even though we're great, wonderful people here. We want to thank A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie. You can find them at 954-434-4774. Beautiful, beautiful shade. They teamed up with Bandalux to personalize and create the on-site radio shade that we have here in the studio. Beautiful pink and black in the great colors that we have here for Inter Miami. Of course, it's the same colors that we have here at Onside Radio. Very, very beautiful. Looks fantastic. I personally love it. And you can see it now on the camera as it popped up. One of the things that I think is the best part about it is one of the things that I continue to mention all the time is that I love that it's so seamless. You can see it on the camera as well towards the top end there. You don't even notice when you're sitting in this seat, when you're sitting in any of the seats, that there is even anything there. It just looks like it fits straight right into the wall, so you can see it perfectly. To order protection with style for your home or office like we did here at Onside Radio, A Shade Above Window Fashions at 954-434-4774. You can also go to their website, ashadeaboveflorida.com. Love the space you live in, A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If you missed Omar Kelly and the Miami Dolphins report sponsored by EJDconstruction.com today, you missed this.
Who are you picking as we currently stand? Let's say that it's 6 overall, no matter what. They're not trading down. At 6, who are you selecting?
You know, to me, I want a proven thing. I want something as solid as Eric from EJD Construction, just something reliable, consistent. I know that I'm going to get what I pay for. And to me, that's Jamar Chase.
Omar Kelly and the Miami Dolphins report, brought to you by EJD Construction. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDconstruction.com.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Welcome back to Kai's Corner. To reach out to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to Kai's Corner.
Sean, you've been going very, very different now each time.
I've hit the mother load right now. I found the mother load.
Oh, nice. And you're not going to share with us?
No.
Oh, God. All right, Sean.
Magicians don't give away their secrets.
That is true. Magicians do not give away their secrets. If you didn't hear what O just said. Anyways, we're having Achilles on from Lemon City Live. You can catch them also tonight. They have their Lemon City Happy Hour as well. Sean, are you joining on to this one again?
No. I was last week.
Oh, so only this week. Who's well, I guess we'll ask Achilles. Who's the guest today for the happy hour?
I'm not the boss. I'm not the Lemon City Live, so that's a Gus question. He's our booker.
Okay, so you leave it up to them then.
He was teasing it on Tuesday. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have multiple guests." So
the more you're around Lemon City Live, you learn that Achilles does nothing except show up.
Listen, man, I'm the content guy. All right, if it weren't for me, it would just be Edwin shooting hot takes, and no one wants that.
Well, listen, some of the times that I would come in and I would hear some of those hot takes. I know that I would come in whenever I'd fill in for Ethan, and you'd look at me and you'd be like, "Do you hear this? Do you hear what this dude is saying right now? Do you hear what he is spewing out into the world?" I want to ask, with your Heat propaganda, how are you feeling with the Heat right now? The 3-game winning streak now, coming off of that 6-game losing streak. The team is it looks better. They look better defensively as well, especially last night, although Steph Curry 36 points. But Victor Oladipo getting, into the team. How are you feeling right now with the current state of the team?
Like I said, I've always felt fine about the team. You know what I mean? Their problem isn't skill or anything. It's consistency. So, like, during those bad days of the losing streak, they'd have 2 really, really, really good quarters and then 2 epically horrendous quarters. And that usually led to losses.
Right.
And if you look at yesterday, they had 1 good quarter, 2 really good quarters, and only 1 horrendously bad quarter. So now things are evening out, balancing out, and I think you're going to start seeing a lot more wins.
Yeah, it's finally, it's always been the third quarter, right? Like, that's one of the big things that everyone's always said is, all right, we better get ready for the third quarter because here it comes where something's going to go wrong today, of course. And it seems like now, at least, again, obviously things are better when you're winning. You can look at things in a better, light and kind of analyze things better when you're winning. But it does seem to be like now the dust has settled. Everyone was asking for a trade, something to shake things up, and now everything has been, things are coming in. What did you make of Victor Oladipo's debut last night?
He automatically brought even more defense to maybe the best defensive team in the league already. He just, he looked a little out of sorts, but he's never played with these guys, and he's been off, for like 2 weeks, but I don't expect him to, be clanking free throws going through the season, and he'll find his place in the offense. But automatically, you could tell that just off the jump, the defense somehow got even better with him out there. There was a couple of times where he'd D up, Curry in the corner or just in transition and active hands and stuff. So, listen, if you can maybe get him back to not 20 points a game because that was at Houston where there was no one else playing. But if you can get him close to, another 15-point a game guy to go along Duncan and Hero, that's huge.
It seems like with Duncan and Hero too, and I asked Ira in the first hour because I mentioned it to him as well. It seems like they're on a better track now, especially coming off of how they were leading up to the trades. He doesn't think that was more so the trades, kind of just thinking, the Heat need to figure out what they can do to get them back on track. How do you feel with Tyler having a couple of good games now since, players have been injured, there's been players out. Of course, you trade a good amount of players that were playing, and then the players you traded for could not play for a couple of games, and he's kind of stepped up a little bit along with Jimmy, of course. How do you feel about Tyler specifically?
I love the kid. Like I said, he was not playing great, but he has the confidence, so he just shot his way out of it. And if you look at it like from a stats perspective or just watching the games, the only difference was he wasn't hitting threes. He was still, an active defender. He's not the best defender in the world. He was still getting to the rim. He was still rebounding. He was still hitting those mid-range shots. So even when he wasn't playing bad, he was still contributing. Where with Duncan, when he was playing bad, he was the most useless player maybe in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then 2 games ago, he goes, something snapped in his brain. He's like, oh, that's right. I know how to play basketball. And he started driving to the rim, a lot less dumb fouls. He's rebounding. He's passing the ball. He looks like a 100% different player. And I remember 2 games ago, Coach Rothstein literally said after the game, that is the best, most complete game I've ever seen Duncan Robinson play in his entire career. Because before he was just standing around taking bad threes, but now he's more active, and it's huge for the team because you can see they're on a win streak, and during that win streak, he's been playing great.
Yeah, and I want to ask, I want to get into some football stuff a little bit, like some football, not American football. But we're gonna get to the American football stuff first. With the Dolphins, how do you currently feel with their state of affairs and things going on kind of throughout the offseason, and how do you feel about them going into the draft?
Since the offseason, I've always said that no matter how things shake out, the Dolphins are going to be winners, which is an amazing thing to say. So when the offseason first started, it was, oh my God, we really have a chance to get Watson. Now that we're kind of done with that, and that's not really going to happen, and I don't think anyone wants it to happen anymore.
No,
you have all these picks, and they already made a move to get more picks because you went only from 3 to 6, and you got so much more assets out of that, and you're still probably going to get a player that you want. So at the end of the day, with the Dolphins, unless every single person they draft they miss on, which I just don't see happening, they're going to be in a great spot, man.
At 6, who are you picking?
I'm a Pitts guy or a Smith guy.
No. I need a definitive answer here. At 6. There's only one right answer, man.
Now that Pitts came back from the injury and he showed what he was because I remember going into this like college season, it was like Pitts is the guy. This guy's a freak. He's gonna be a top pick. And then he got hurt and kind of fell off. And Devonta Smith had the greatest season in the history of college football for a receiver.
Right.
But now that he's back, man, like it's hard to pass up a guy like that. And my whole thing is, if the Dolphins pick him up, you have Devontae Parker, you have Preston Williams, you have Gesicki, and you have him. So like your 4 wide set is guys 6'4" and taller, and like how can you stop that? And then you have Will Fuller who can take the top off. You don't necessarily need that in your next young receiver, and I don't think anyone else in the NFL will have a receiving core that ginormous, and I'm a big fan of that.
No, I am as well, and I think it's like I started thinking about it and looking through stuff as well. You get Will Fuller on there, you get a guy like Jakeem Grant in a limited role to potentially be able to do some stuff as well. I think it would look really nice offensively. I want to ask you, ESPN FC tweeted earlier today, and it was about some of our American homegrown talent here, Weston McKennie, him as well as Paulo Dybala and Arthur have been temporarily suspended by Juventus after they had a party at McKinney's home. How do you feel about stuff like that? I mean, this is a guy that's in a position at Juventus where he's been playing fantastic, and then him and 2 other great players for the team are getting suspended now because they're making mistakes like this.
It's listen, man, I've been locked up in my room for a year now. So for me, I don't understand the need to do stuff like that. And especially when you're going to lose money and hurt an organization, there's even less incentive. Like, how fun was that party for real? Or now you're going to be suspended. And as the young new guy for Weston specifically, that probably could hurt your playtime. You know what I mean? So I hope they had a hell of a party, man, because there's no way it was worth it. And it's just a bad look, man. Like, we're getting close to the end of this whole pandemic thing. Just hunker down and just finish it out, man. Like, you're going to be able to party in like a month or two. Like, why did you have to do that now?
I couldn't understand it. Like, when it popped across, because I originally got the notification from Bleacher Report, but I saw the tweet from ESPN FC, and I just couldn't imagine how, especially like Arthur, I believe, is 23. Weston McKennie is also young. I don't know how old Weston McKennie is. I think he's 22 or 23. And then Paulo Dybala, oh my God, I keep getting that wrong. I don't know why. Is one of like the most talented Argentinian players that you could possibly get right now. And it's one of those guys that they're looking at to hopefully be that next step from a Aguero and a Messi into that team. And even in Juventus, he's been one of those players that they've looked at for a while. Now, he's almost transferred a couple times, but this is a guy that's a Juventus guy, and he's even making that mistake. I couldn't imagine and even put my mind around why that was something that happened.
And it's also a really extra bad look for Weston because it's his house. It's not like he was the young kid and he got invited and maybe he got peer pressured and you can kind of write it off like that. No, he specifically hosted a party when you're not supposed to host it, especially in Italy where that's one of the first places that it popped off outside of China. So they take it extra serious there. So like it's it's a horrendous look for him. Especially like he was so on the rise. They made his transfer permanent recently. He was getting play time, and then you do something like this. And like I said, more than anything, since he's a young guy, like Dybala and Arthur, those are established guys. It probably won't affect their play time. But for him to be especially the new young kid just making his way into a team that big, like I feel it probably ends up hurting his stock there for a little bit.
Yeah, and he's American. I think that's the other thing as well. Is a lot of people in world football look at Americans, and it's still also like, this is another guy that could possibly get there. I want to ask you quickly here, as we have a couple minutes, or about like a minute and a half left here. I want to ask, very just straightforward, who do you think wins the Champions League this season?
Well, before Lewandowski went out, it was Munich for me, because that team is just unstoppable. But in terms of current form, I'm just going to have to say Man City. Not that I'm excited to say something like that, but with Lewandowski out for a long time, it looks like, I can't imagine. It's hard to lose, technically the best goal scorer in the world like the last 2 years.
There's no technically. To that.
He didn't get his golden boot. He got robbed, and the guy has just been unstoppable over the last couple of years. So I think it's hard to bounce. Even though they have a ton of talent, it's hard to bounce back from losing that guy. And Man City has just been pretty much on a tear. And if they keep winning, they can start focusing, or keep winning in the EPL, they can start focusing on Champions League too. So
yeah, and when it comes down to the Bayern PSG thing, I think if Lewandowski's gone beyond that, then I could understand. I don't trust PSG too much, but I would also, if it gets to that point, I wouldn't want to see City and Bayern match up to get to the final. That would be stupid. I would want to see a City-Bayern final. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on, man. Again, you can follow Achilles on Twitter at AchillesXC2. And, of course, you can tune into the Lemon City Live Happy Hour as well tonight, where you can watch them. I watched last week when Sean was on as well, and you can interact in the chat with them and say hi. Sean, do you have anything to say as we sign off here? I figured you wanted to say something since maybe, you said something earlier before we even got into it.
Kadarius phony.
I hate you, Tito. Anyways, Achilles, thank you so much for coming on, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I hate you, Sean. And I hate you too, Tito. I try to bring up anything just to be like, I'm throwing a little fun. Kadarius phony. All right. Anyways, over the last 30 years, South Florida fans have always been able to count on one radio show that gives you the brutal honesty you need. Orlando, oh my God, I got Alzugari. Yes. Alzugari. Oh my God.
Alzugari. There you go.
Go with it. Alzugari and the Onside Zone daily from noon to 3 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
The Miami Heat victorious, their third straight win with a 116-109 victory over the Golden State Warriors last night. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Duncan Robinson all scored at least 20 points. Opening day for the Marlins didn't go so well. They fell to the Rays 1-0. They are back in action tonight. First pitch 7:10. Pablo Lopez takes the mound. And the Florida Panthers, an exciting 3-2 overtime victory over the Detroit Red Wings. Easy for me to say. Alex Winberg scored the game-winning goal in overtime. Florida's now won 4 in a row. This is South Florida's new choice for local sports talk. This is OnSideRadio.com.
To Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Sean, are you sure we can't get a camera on you?
I got the Tito energy now. He's rubbing off on me. That's the problem. Tito's like sugar.
There we go. There we go. We have to have a camera on, Sean.
But it doesn't matter because I control whether it goes on or not. So, there's not a lot going on. Trust me. That camera's not getting the full width of Sean Stanley. Let me tell you now.
You don't think it would be great, especially, for you guys, whenever you, chime in a little bit for the YouTube guys to see you every time?
It's work. We got to transition the
Well, I'm just asking.
I know, but it's transition the cameras. Plus, this guy's always talking about crypto.
Okay. I get what you mean, Tito. I just ask, if anything. You don't know anything about crypto? I know enough about crypto. Can we get the mic on for Tito, Sean? to see
I know. Yeah.
Let me do my job. Okay, now you're good.
I know enough about crypto. Okay.
I
hear about crypto every day.
What's your knowledge now? Have you gotten in Ethereum?
NFTs, blockchain, cryptocurrency, invest.
Have you got to the Ethereum? Big O just tweeted right now. Hope you bought those dips. It's blowing up.
No.
Up $128.27, 6.61%.
No, I'm good.
You didn't get into any other crypto, bro?
I mean, I always hit the crypto, bro. I've had crypto, but just
not to that level.
Not to that level. No.
Ah, it's okay.
Never will be.
I feel like that brought you in a bad mood. You were in a great mood until crypto.
It's the weekend, bro.
Now you have to have that, so every time so Tito can hit it when he's very happy. It's the weekend, bro. Have him ready and happy. I've seen a couple crazy things now retweeted. This is what Tito, if you can look at, that's what you are right now. This is like a gorilla or something dancing in a pool. That's you where you're at this point. having a great week. You see, it says, have a great week and happy Friday. Having a nice and fun attitude. Anyways, as we get ready to round off hour 2 before we cross talk with Big O, and we enjoy ourselves being able to have a weekend, I do want to add, it did. Oh, we got the Sean Stanley cam. Oh, Sean and Tito on the cam now. I love it. I checked over and I wanted to watching all of that back there. Did it? I want to ask. Did it rain over here yesterday a lot, Tito, when you were leaving? A little bit. All right. It absolutely poured where I was.
It poured in Miami Gardens. I can tell you that much.
It absolutely poured where I was, but very late. It was supposed to start at like 3, and it just never started until about like 7-ish, like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Started to pour. Felt great. All these tennis players had to get off the court. It was awesome. Loved it.
So do you get along with the tennis players there? Because
I
everything
actually
I
do.
hear, I'm going to say no.
I actually do. So there's a lot of them that I get along with really well. Some of them listen to the show. The ones that I get along with know about my show, and they listen. Some of them though, some of them I just can't stand. You know, there's just I don't understand. Again, I tried telling this to Kylie, and Kylie was like questioning me because she's like, "Oh, tennis is such a great sport." And I'm like, I don't think I'll ever be able to understand the love for it and why people love it so much. The other thing I think that it makes me stand on it as well is they all come over and consistently, like, if you tell them to put on a mask, they'll just look at you and they'll ask why. It's like, why do I have to have a mask on? I'm playing tennis. I'm coming to talk to you. Why do I have to have a mask on? It's like, I don't want you while you're playing tennis, but at least while you're talking to me here and I'm taking your money and everything like that. Then, like, we had someone that came up one time and he was like, oh, he was talking about how he's had COVID like 3 times and he didn't have a mask on either. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. And then the biggest one is a water fountain. So our water fountains are off because, you know, we don't want a bunch of tennis players going in and out and people like that going to get water. So one of my coworkers, who's one of my best friends as well, was consistently having this war along with myself about these people opening the water fountain every single day. It was they would find a way to turn it on, they would find a way to plug it in, they would do everything like that. So it must have been like last Friday. Yeah, it was last Friday. Last Friday, I went over to get a public sub because I was hungry. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get food. I'll be right back. Him and my other coworker were, you know, just chilling. He texts the group chat with me and another one of our friends and says, so I got a zip tie and I zip tied shut the plug to plug in the water fountain and I cut off the end so it's impossible to open and it's going to be hard for us to cut it out because I got tired of these people going out there and opening and turning on the water fountain. So that's the other thing, Sean. It's just a constant war. They never want to work with us. They want to work against us.
Do any of them ever walk up to you and be like, water, bro?
No, but they asked. I had told one of them at one point who had shown to be pretty normal, and then we were like, oh yeah, the water fountain's off because, you know, COVID. We're not even supposed to have them on in the first place. We
You guys sell bottled water though?
We used to, but we don't sell bottled water anymore.
I mean, that's a monopoly right now. If they want water, they buy a bottle of water.
So it used to be everything: Gatorade, water, sodas.
Can you sell it
chips.
individually?
What do you mean?
Can I bring a cooler there and sell drinks?
You need a permit in order to do that. So you'd have to get a permit in order to sell. That's just how it is. I don't know.
Trying to keep the man down all
There's actually a
business opportunity right there.
It is. Ian from Brooklyn, thank you for saying thank you for that as well. Saying good job this week, Kai. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you. I hope you do as well. But yeah, it's always a battle. And I think that if they worked with us, Sean, I would enjoy it so much more. And I'd be like, you know what, you're cool.
You know what? I bet you right now, Joe Smith is sitting at his desk right now saying, if that Kai guy at the tennis center worked with me, it would be harmonious.
I mean, look, the biggest thing too is I feel like we've had a couple instances where we've gotten into like arguments with people, and it's not like where we're sitting there like, oh yeah, I want to argue with you. It's just like, oh, you know, I want to work with you. I want to be able to make sure that this goes as swimmingly as possible. It's just that you have to understand the same thing I understand, which is like, look, sometimes like things just happen. Like sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. But instead it's like, oh no, you know, screw you. What do you mean? This isn't real, blah, blah, blah. What is this? And then it's like, listen, like, you know, could you just try to work with us a little bit here? Because if you work with us, we're going to work with you. We're going to make your life easier. You know, you need an extra like 10 minutes on the court. We got you. You need to warm up. Because that was the biggest thing. We would get yelled at because it's an hour limit. Like, oh, you can't play a tennis match in an hour. And it's like, okay, well, how about this? You might think you're playing for an hour, but we're going to give you like an extra 15 minutes so you can warm up. And that's usually what we do. And then every single time still, they're like, we haven't been playing for an hour. And it's like, no, well, you've been playing for an hour and 15 minutes. And it's not like we care too much about this, but you arguing with me and trying to start a fight with me over tennis, I don't need that today. I'm trying to have like a nice Friday day, you know?
I don't know. It sounds like you guys are a little too hoity-toity over there.
We have to be because people complained.
It's tennis, man. It's not golf.
Exactly. We were so mellow about everything. We were helping people out. We were, you know, just doing favors for people, being nice to everyone we possibly can, just because, hey, you know, we're doing our job and we want to make the customer, you know, and the tennis patients that come through have a good experience. We want everyone to be happy. And then one person complained about an issue that I'm not going to specifically state, and that issue had people higher up in our job have to go and make changes where now we have to be strict. We have to check licenses to see where you're from. We have to do everything now because one person had one big complaint about something insignificant.
That'll teach you to.
There you go. And so that's why that happened. If not, everything will be running swimmingly. Anyways, we're rounding off the week, rounding off hour 2 here. We're going to have Big O in for Crosstalk in just a little bit after the break. Onside Radio understands gaming is a big part of the sports landscape. That's why every day we keep you updated with some of the latest gaming news with Onside Radio's E-Minute, hosted by Toast, myself, and Michael Christian. If you miss it, it's podcasted daily, as is our roundtable. You can search up Onside Radio on all platforms, subscribe, rate, and review OnsideRadio.com, the station gamers call home.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture, or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Catch a South Florida staple every afternoon as Alex Dono hosts Man of the Match 3 to 6 p.m. Dono covers everything from football to football to MMA. Tune in to one of the most complete sports shows in the country with the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. 3 to 6 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Rounding off hour 2 and rounding off the week here on a very nice Friday. Tito's energy rubbing off on me into wanting to go out into this Friday and just go out to kill the rest of it. Now Big O is here. How
Can you
doing,
feel
man?
it?
Yeah.
Can you feel the crypto power, baby?
Crypto, bro.
That's what it's all about.
Crypto, bro.
Ethereum blowing up.
Crypto, bro.
Bitcoin.
Crypto, bro.
Yes.
Just hearing crypto, bro.
Crypto, bro.
That's it. Ethereum busting through for a record.
Crypto, bro.
Is this MLB The Show?
Yeah, something like that. It's Michael Christian's playing that right now as we speak.
Oh, it's RBI Baseball. That looked horrible.
There you go.
God, that looked bad. Anyway, what's coming up on the show today, oh?
A lot of crypto talk, that's for damn sure. No, seriously,
bro.
Dan Leberfeld's going to stop by. Jets Whispers. I want to get into the Jets pick at number 2, what he's thinking, what he thinks the Niners are really thinking, and how that affects the Dolphins, obviously, at 6. So we're going to have some fun. I'm waiting on one more interview to see if we can knock it down. It's another team before the Dolphins that we'll be picking. At 2:34, my buddy Craig Mish will be joining us from the Sports Grid and Sports Grid, Swings and Mishes, Herald Sports, MLB Network. Craig is half Jamaican, so he's got to have like 9 jobs. He used to be in that skit and in Living Color all the time. Now he kind of actually lives it. So he's got like 8 jobs, and we'll talk about how he works 8 different jobs to make some money. No, I know that. I know Kai has no idea, but there are people. There are people listening that know what the hell I'm talking about. Kai, will have to go do his homework.
You mean talking about like multiple jobs or just the show? Because in multiple jobs, I know what the hell he's talking about.
There was a skit. There was a skit on In Living Color, which used to be a sketch comedy show on Fox. Probably the funniest sketch comedy show ever. I mean, we could argue Saturday Night Live or that one of the two. I mean, the list of artists. You should actually you should actually go back to YouTube or wherever and go see In Living Color. You will laugh your ass off. But anyways, they had a skit about a couple of a Jamaican family, and they would like make fun of each other because one only had 9 jobs and the other one had 13 and all that. So it was just a funny skit. You would have to look it up. But In Living Color was. What do you guys think? In Living Color or Saturday Night Live?
Saturday Night Live.
Right? I think a lot of people would go with In Living Color because they pushed it. You know where I think you go Saturday Night Live? If we go early Saturday Night Live.
Because it's getting a little stale now,
when you get to Dan Aykroyd and you get to Jane Curtin and Belushi, and then you roll into Eddie Murphy and that group, and then that's where it kind of ends. That can challenge In Living Color or beat it. But after Eddie Murphy's crew, then yeah, In Living Color trashes all of that.
It's just because now I used to like Saturday Night Live a lot, and now it's just like, I don't know.
It's
it feels
hit
like
and miss.
It's just stale.
It's hit and miss.
It's like the same stuff over and over again.
That's why I record it, because I'll just speed through the really bad segments. And I say, oh, it's not making me laugh. I'll just speed. All right, let's go to the next one. Next skit. That's kind of what I do. I have no choice nowadays. You know what I mean? But there are some segments.
There are some that are really good.
Saturday Night Live that they get it sometimes.
Like they did a couple of things on Star Wars and like Kylo Ren, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, and some of the political. I mean, whenever
it's political.
Whenever what's it called? Damn it, what's his name? The guy who plays Trump on Saturday Night Live.
Baldwin.
Whenever he does Trump, you got to watch.
He does a great job though.
It's hilarious.
He has the whole way that he speaks to a T.
It's like watching the blonde one do
Hillary Clinton.
Palin when she was doing Palin.
Oh yeah.
She was phenomenal, bro.
She's been in a
Tina Fey.
Tina Fey. That's it. Tina Fey.
Anyways,
Tina Fey.
Hope you have a great show. For everyone listening on YouTube or wherever you might be, thank you so much for tuning in, especially throughout the week. Big O will follow, of course, until 3 p.m. And then after that is Dono. And then after that is Michael. And you'll be able to catch all that here on Onside Radio basically until 7 p.m. today. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest. Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.